Hi, y'all.
Hello.
She's not usually like this. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Today we are in the kitchen and we are cooking up a batch of our
Body butter.
Alright, so part 2 of this video is us talking about our New Year's resolution and also what we did over the past year. So stay tuned. So while we work, we just wanted to go ahead and tell you our New Year's resolutions, just because it's January, it's the beginning of the year, and tell you some things that we want to work on for the new year and coming for Koji, but also just our personal lives. But also kind of just review how was 2021.
Yeah, 2021 was a really interesting year. 2021 is when Goji and Neem was born. Fang and I are busy people, I think. Well, I can't speak for Fang, but I think she's busy because I'm her best friend. I would know. But we're really busy people, and in the beginning of 2021, I was teaching. I was teaching during the pandemic, so it was a lot going on. I was doing remote teaching, in-person teaching, and so a lot of my time was dedicated to teaching. And when you teach in New York City, you teach. You bring your work at home. So I was doing a lot of lesson plans at home. I was teaching. I was also going to the gym. So my life was super busy. I felt like, even though I did have a lot of time, I felt like it was overwhelming. But then when the pandemic happened and my life kind of slowed down because the pandemic happened. And that's where we kind of had the brainstorming idea of being like, okay, let's just start our own business. And it kind of forced us to think about what other things we can do. And so I'm grateful for 2021 in a way that it stopped my busy life to really take a step back and take a moment to realize, okay, what do I really want to do in life? I love teaching, but I also love this providing people information about health, getting people to understand how easy, because it is easy no matter what people
think. And we show you all the time.
It is to
the
be
hard
healthy.
Things, but it's also very easy to think of an idea and also make it happen. We tell you all the behind the scenes, all the trials and tribulations, but also there's just so much stuff that when I look at a product that we've made and how we've bottled it and labeled it, it really comes to reality how we are so capable as humans. And Amina's talking about all the things that can make you feel like you're just a teacher, or you're just somebody that goes to school, or you're just one singular thing. And now I realize too that you're so capable of doing so many things that you can love to do as well as what you need to do. Going to work, making money, that's very necessary, but it's also nice to be able to do something creative that you maybe have sat on for a long time thinking about. But just getting it done, getting it started was something that was exciting. And now we're just trying to keep that momentum of keep on creating and keep on giving products that people might be interested in buying. And Amina was talking about the 3 simple ingredients. I just wanted to bring this up. Yes, it's very simple. You can make it, but we're trying to provide an avenue where it's easy for you to just get it, know all the ingredients inside, trust that we are making incredible products that is safe to use, is completely natural, and provide you an avenue to just be able to be completely natural in an easy, affordable way. So
yeah, and a lot of what makes this really nice is that I've done jobs all my career through my life through doing things for other people, and this is finally a business that we are kind of proud of, and it's kind of like our baby. And I feel like I'm taking it more seriously because it's mine. I have to take it seriously, and so it just feels nice to have something to do that's yours. I've been working as a teacher, I've been working as a after school leader, I've been working other programs, but this is nice just to be like, okay, this is something that I'm doing because I believe in it, and so it comes naturally for us to really talk about it. So I really like that we decided to do this, even though I'm really not doing really well on the sticker part. The sticker part is hard. It's hard. I'm learning. I'm just trying not to get it to look crooked. This is what mine looks like. Please don't laugh at me. I have that little thing right here. I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying.
So, let me see. My recap of 2021, I think everybody maybe has felt similar feelings about, 2021. Because it's the year after the whole, world kind of shut down for me, I think. Because 2020 was when, there was the first announcements of a pandemic. And then 2021 is when, all of us, I think, at least for me, was itching for more news. Like, what is going to happen next? What are our next steps? All the talk of a wave and this new variant. So it was still very, like, I think for me, it was like I was getting anxious and figuring out what I was going to do career-wise, and even, like, where I was going to, be within the next year. It was all, like, kind of boggling in my head and thinking about, what are my next moves. I think, like, 2021 was like if you think of it in like a magical kind of way, it was like a wake-up potion, right? It was like waking everybody up and, like, do you want to do, accounting for the rest of your life, staying in an office all day? Or do you want to move to somewhere else where it's more tropical, where you'll feel lighter? I think a lot of people were making revelations in where they are in life and where they want to be. And so, like Amina was saying, I was also teaching in the beginning of the year. And I love teaching. Teaching was, something that I always wanted to do. I remember ever since I was like 16, I was like, I'm going to be a teacher. I went on a trip to teach English abroad, and I was like, I'm going to be a teacher. And so I still do, in a lot of ways, teach throughout my day. I do babysitting on the side. I am also, like, just doing different types of teaching online and everything. But it really has woken me up to think about other options to make a way of living, that can benefit me and my family, but also something that's just more to what I want to do.
I did it.
You did it.
Yeah, going off on what Fang was saying, it's kind of like one of those things where, like, if you're such a busy person and you kind of work so hard that you kind of need, like, a pandemic to stop you. That's kind of like what happened. It's like, you don't really think about what you really want because you're just moving. You're in the move. And it's nice to finally be like, okay, Amina, stop what you're doing. Is this really what you want to do? And I, like Fang said, I love teaching. Like, it's something that I also am very passionate about doing. Honestly, I love working with the youth. I love seeing children. And I'm still doing it as well. This is something that I also believe in, because one time in my life, I was also not that healthy. I'm sorry, I wasn't that healthy. I wasn't eating that great. I didn't really care about my health. And then when I realized how health is wealth and it's super important, I got to understand how important it is to me to share that with other people. And I think Fang shares that similar kind of dream. And so that, I feel like it's super, super important for 2021. Other things that happened in 2021, I went to Ghana. Me and my husband and my stepdaughter, we went to visit Ghana. I think we went to go visit his brother in Ghana. And honestly, we went summer of 2021, and it was during the pandemic. It was towards the end of the pandemic. It was like the second year of the pandemic, sorry. And then we went there, and honestly, I was like a nervous wreck, because everyone's like, oh my God, pandemic, how are you going to travel? What the hell's going to happen? And I was nervous because I didn't want to get stuck in another country and not come. Like, I have travel anxiety. Not so much, like, it's not crazy, but I get, like, anxious. So, like, getting all the testing done, getting all the, making sure there's a PCR test and making sure that the testing was done, getting all the, when you travel to Ghana, this is interesting information. If you want to travel to Ghana, you have to have your yellow fever vaccination. Even though I didn't want to get it, it's, like, kind of mandatory. They won't allow you in the country if you don't have a yellow fever vaccine. And so I had to get that done, plus get the visas. And it was funny because God was on my side, because the visas were so difficult to get because of the pandemic. The Ghana embassy was closed. Not closed, they didn't allow anybody to come into the building. You had to do everything online. you had to drop things off, and the way that they made it seem was so difficult because like online the people were saying it took like 8 weeks for the visa to come in, and I needed my visa in like within 2 weeks, like and so I was so nervous, and everyone was like, oh, you can't go in the office, you can't go in the office. It was like you call and nobody picks up. And so one day I was like, let me just take my butt and take it all the way to Manhattan on 42nd Street, I believe, so 34th Street, and go to the embassy myself. And I went there and there was someone there. Like, I was like, oh my God. And I went there and I was so like, you know, panicking. I was like, I really need this visa. And he was just like, oh, well, you should come here. And I'm like, oh, well, on your website, like, it was just crazy. And then I finally got the visa done. And then comes the PCR test. And I went to go find the PCR test. You're supposed to do it 3 days before traveling. And I went to go do the PCR test. And everywhere I went, they were saying $200 for a PCR test. And I'm cheap. And so I was like, what the hell? Like, I'm not paying $200 for... That's how much I paid for the visas. Like, why am I paying $200 for a PCR test? And so I was really upset because I was like, why are people... Like, I feel like I was getting exploited. And then, again, I feel lucky because I called and there was this place called... it was called Q Lab. It was called Q Lab in Manhattan. It was on 14th Street, I believe so. And they did PCR tests free and they'll give it to you in 24 hours, which is exactly what I need. And I live in the Bronx, so I took my ass all the way to Manhattan and I got the PCR test done. My husband got it. My stepdaughter got it. And we were ready to go. And I was like, you know that rush you get for traveling? I know you know, because I have that rush. And I was like, and then the day of happens and we're about to go to Ghana. And we're packing. And then we get an Uber and we're supposed to be at the airport at 5. And then we get an Uber, but then the Uber takes really long to come. And the first Uber I got cost $60 just to go. I live in the Bronx, just to go to the Queens, JFK. And I was like, okay, whatever, forget it. And I paid $60, and then he was late. So I was so like, the time was ticking, and I was so like, what the hell? And at the same time, my husband is still packing, and I'm like, oh my God, you have to finish packing. And then I ended up canceling him because he was like 15 minutes away. And I'm sorry, I have anxiety. I'm like, I'm the type of person that likes to be places on time. Either a half an hour early or an hour early. I don't like to be late to things. And so for me, like even with my work, even with everything else, I like to be on time. And so I was like, screw it, and I canceled it, and I got another Uber, and that was $100.
So affordable.
And I was like, oh, so I got it. At this point, I was like, I'd rather not miss my flight. So I literally, we did it. We went to Ghana, and honestly, Ghana is beautiful. The people are so kind. The hospitality, everyone is just... Like, New York is great, but like Ghana, you go there and people are like, I mean, of course they're interested in you because you don't look like them. Of course they want to know where you're coming from. My husband is lighter than me, so they called him Obroni, which means white boy, even though he's not a white boy. And so it's just nice. They're like, at first they come off as like, oh, why are you asking me so many questions? Why are you in my face? But it's like they're just interested. They're trying to be nice. They're trying to get to know who you are. You're in their country, so a good smile, a good like, hey, I mean, of course they want you to buy their products. Of course they want you to be nice to them. But it was just nice. The food, the hospitality. We lived with my brother-in-law, and he was amazing. We went to I went to I'll tell you two of the highlights of the trip because I don't want to talk so much. Two of the highlights of the trip. The first one is we went to what's the name? What's it called? I don't want to say it, so I don't want to butcher the name because what is it called? Okay, so I'm not gonna say the name because I don't want to butcher it, but it was a national park in Ghana. We traveled for 8 hours to get to there, and honestly, it was a rainforest, and it was breathtaking. Oh my gosh, it was breathtaking. We went, the person who did the tour guy, he took us to the top layer. I think it's called the canopy layer, the top layer. We went to the canopy layer, and I've never seen something like that in my life. Like, I felt like my nostrils opened up, like I could breathe. Like, I felt like I had some kind of, like, right now in New York you're able to breathe, but like any kind of like stuffy nose, it just cleared everything out. It was so therapeutic. Everyone talks about how if you go to the rainforest, there are people who talk about how if you walk into the rainforest, you're cured. Like, if you feel sick, you go into the rainforest and you feel better. I believe that, even though if it's a theory or not. I believe that because I walked into the rainforest and I feel great. I was having a small headache. My nose was a little stuffy. And I went to the rainforest and I came out and I felt like it healed me. It was so nice. It was so beautiful, so green. It was beautiful. We went on like a bridge. We crossed the bridge on the rainforest, and it was just beautiful. I so loved it. I was so happy to be there. The second highlight is when we went to a beach. It was I forgot the name of the beach. Please don't yell at me. But it was a beautiful beach. Honestly, like in Ghana, you don't get a lot of beach time, especially in Ghana. It's not really that. It is tropical, but it's a lot of like sand because next to the Sahara, so there's a lot of sand, a lot of like working people. If you want to go to the beach, you have to travel. And we were in Accra in Ghana, so that's like Accra is like the place of the center. It was lots of like shopping, a lot. So to find a beach, you would have to really travel. And so it was the first time I went to the beach, and I was super happy. I got really sick first week of Ghana, so when I went to the beach, it felt really nice. Everyone was really, again, nice there. The beach water was blue. It felt like I was like in like a tropical country. It felt really nice, and those are the two highlights. I really liked it. But I was really happy to go to Ghana. If anybody wants to ever go to Ghana, you should definitely go. People that are super nice. Yes, they are gonna try to gyp you. Yes, they're trying to make more money out of you because you're a foreigner. But any country that you go to is gonna try to do that. They're trying to make money. There are people who are trying to make a living, and so they're gonna try. You can kindly just be like, no, I don't have the money, and kindly walk away. They're not gonna come and like assault you. They just are gonna try their best to get money out of you, and that's every country. But yeah, that was my experience in Ghana.
My country was actually better. No,
where did you go?
So actually, you reminded me of 2021. I kind of did a little thing called, getting married. Oh my God. And I had the opportunity to marry a wonderful man, and we got hitched in June, which was 2 days literally after my birthday. My birthday is June 24th. We got married on June 26th, and literally flew out the next night. We had such a cute backyard wedding, and I wouldn't have traded it for anything. All of my friends came, and we set up like 9 a.m. in the morning. I literally was a mad woman getting all of the decorations ready. We were cooking the whole day. All 6 of us were working our butts off. And actually, it was way more people than that because I forgot. We also had our friends that rented us the house. She also was just there making sure everything was ready. And so it was like a whole crew right there. We went to Mexico. And, I had so many people tell me all these crazy stories. Amina scared me. She was like, "Oh, you're gonna get kidnapped, so be careful, watch your butt."
No, I you know what it is? I have a fear of traveling, especially because I like to research the country before I travel. And I know some people are like, "Oh, I don't care, gung ho, I'm gonna go into the country, I'm gonna travel." And I love those type of people. You're adventurous. I'm adventurous too, believe me. But I like to research, and Mexico. I was like, oh, but what it is, all countries are like that. You have to just be smart when you travel. Yeah. And so I was just telling her, be careful. I love my baby right here, so I was telling her to be careful.
But honestly, I'm a travel bug. I plan everything to where we go, to where we eat, to where we're gonna do the first 3 days, and then after that. So I had planned for us to land in Mexico City, stay a week there, and then go to Puerto Vallarta, and then go to Mexico City again, then to Cancun, then back to Mexico City, because that was the most affordable way. Believe it or not, every flight that you go to Mexico into, unless you are spending whatever money, if you have an endless wallet, you can just fly directly to the places. But if you fly to Mexico City first, you actually get it way cheaper. And so my plan was going there, but then Amina was like, actually it's a huge city, you don't know who's there, you might be in trouble. And I was like, all right, plans rerouted. I went and refunded those tickets, and instead I decided to stay in Puerto Vallarta because it is a really nice small little semi-touristy. There was tourists there, but it wasn't a big city at all. And I would literally live there. And there's actually a lot of expats and people that move from other countries to go there and buy property, because it's at least half of the amount that you would need to purchase a house in America, or specifically New York. It's like at least 1.5 million for a house in Queens, and over there it was like 400,000, or it was like 350, and so way more affordable for such a beautiful place. You're right next to the mountains, the beach, and just so many tropical, nature focused kind of areas. And so that was beautiful. I also got sick. When you just go on vacation, not even just with the pandemic, it's just you're eating different foods. So I had a stomach bug. My husband also had like 3 nights where he was just vomiting and using the bathroom at the same time. So that was fun to experience together, because you're newlyweds, you're kind of, getting accompanied to living together, but also traveling together. I really recommend that, when you're like first experiencing each other and being with each other every day. It's just like really nice to travel together, because you learn each other's like nitpicky habits, but also just like how you treat other people and strangers, meeting other people. And so that was really fun. We went to Cancun after that, and then we finally came to Mexico City, and literally I wish I had done my original plan, because it was not dangerous at all. Everybody was super nice. Like, oh my gosh, like of course the beaches in Cancun and Puerto Vallarta were nice, but the culture and the food, you guys know that me and Mina are vegetarian, and they had vegetarian tacos.
Wow.
On the side of the street for like 50 cents. And so me and Dion, when we arrived, we ate like so many tacos and literally did not want to leave. I literally said in my head, I was like, I wish I could stay one more day. And this is how God is funny, because you have to wish carefully. Dion we were in the central part of Mexico City, the park, I forgot its name, I listed below. It was a park we were in. It was raining, it was pouring. This was in June, so this is like the rainy season. And we were souvenir shopping. Literally, we were just in there souvenir shopping. I said, we have 4 hours before the flight. I'm going to go there. We had some tacos. And 4 hours was not enough to travel from the airport to the center of the city and then back. And so I was cutting it close, but I was like, I wanted to see, because it was actually 6 hours, sorry. We had 4 hours to explore the city and then go back. But really, it was not enough time, because with the rain, the taxi took way too long. It was splashing. Like, when it rains in Mexico, it floods. And so the streets are flooded with water. And he kept on honking. I kept on telling him with my broken, horrible, poor Spanish that we needed to get to the airport. And it was just horrible. So we ended up getting to the airport at exactly 6, and our plane left at 6:05. I was at the counter. I was like, oh my God, everybody. He's like, ma'am, I can't help you. The plane has already boarded and it's left the airport.
Would you like me to stop the plane for you?
Oh my gosh. So
wow.
we had to stay one more day and buy extra tickets. And we went to Cheapo Air, because that's where I get all of my tickets. And we purchased another 2 pair of tickets for $800. So that was a mistake of $800. But I got my wish. Right? I got to stay an extra day. We found an Airbnb, and I'll put that one below. He's a super awesome guy. He let us crash there for the night, and it was in the center of the city, right around where we got the tacos. And so guess what? We woke up the next day, had tacos again, and had a bunch of fat foods, because Mexico is like, I don't know if you noticed this, but like if you had any Mexican friends or if you've been to Mexico, they love their sweets. So there was like bakeries everywhere, and just like there was juice shops everywhere, fresh juice shops.
Wow.
I got a container like this for like $1. And so I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was really a beautiful experience.
That actually reminds me, one more story for me. My story is enough. This reminds me, I really want to share this with you guys. I also got stuck in Ghana, and I want to share this a little bit with you guys.
Oh my God.
Because you guys know, because of the pandemic, and honestly, this is the highlight of my 2021, because what it did is it taught me how to be more independent and put on my big girl pants, because I've never traveled alone. okay? And God was like, you will travel alone and experience it. Because I've always traveled my family, my husband, my best friend. I never tried alone, like nobody. It's hard because you want to travel with someone. But because of the pandemic, you're supposed to get a PCR test to leave. In addition to coming to the country, you had to leave with a PCR test 24 hours. And
72.
Yeah, 72 hours. And me and my husband and my stepdaughter went to go get the PCR test. And both my husband and my daughter came out to be negative, and mine came out positive. And this is so weird because I was feeling great. There was nothing wrong with me. I was feeling great. I didn't get any symptoms. I was feeling amazing. Like, I didn't feel sick. I felt like the normal. But I was so upset because that meant that I had to stay behind, and because our flight was the next day, and I had to stay behind, and I was super sad because
I'm so clumsy.
Because
sorry,
I was looking forward to coming home with my husband and my stepdaughter, but I wasn't able to do that because I wasn't. I got a positive. I even took another test the next morning because I was so desperate to come home. I paid 200 cedis, which is Ghanaian currency. I paid 200 cedis to come back, and oh my God, I still came out positive. And I was so upset because you know what? I was feeling great, but the way that they take the test in Ghana is very harsh. I love Ghanaians. I love the country Ghana, but it was so harsh for me because they do it through the throat and the nose. So they take the swab and they put it in your brain. Like, honestly, I felt like the swab was in my brain. I was like, why are you going so deep in my nose and in your throat? And so they had to so the person who was doing it, I think they were looking for gold in my body because they were like, I felt worse after taking the swab because it was my throat felt horrible after they were doing it, and so I didn't know what was going on. So twice I came positive. So at that point I went to depression state because I was like, I'm a female. I'm in the country by myself. My husband and my stepdaughter left by then, and I was like, why are you leaving me? But it made no sense for him to stay because then he had to pay for another ticket, and so I'm just being selfish. So they left, but I was really sad. I stayed for another week. I stayed for another week because I was so sad by myself. But
I was sad without her. Everybody else came back, and I was like, "Where's Amina?"
I was like, "What is going on? Why is this happening to me?" But then I realized I was like, that whole week that I stayed behind gave me time to really think about my life. Gave me time to think about what I want to do. What are my goals? When you have time to yourself, you really think about, especially when you're traveling, you really think about your life and you think about clarity. You want clarity in your life, and it was good for me. I stayed behind, and I was happy I did it. Then behold, on Thursday that day, I was like, I'm taking this test, and I took the test, and I was like, I'm gonna come out negative, and I came out negative, and I traveled by myself, and I rushed home. I was like, oh my gosh. There was a ticket to come home on that following Monday, to New York, and I didn't want to wait that long, so I was like, I'm gonna come. There was a ticket that was immediately 24 hours to come back to New Jersey, and I took that. I was like, I don't care. I'd rather be an hour away from where I live than 16 hours away. So I was like, I will come back to New Jersey, and I took the flight to Newark, and I came home, and I was like, I need to come home, but I was stuck. But it was experience, and I loved it. It was good for me. So I'm not upset, but I was really sad. I was like, what's happening to me? I was like, and I had to pay another $500 to come back. Yeah.
What was the sentence?
I had to pay another $500 to come back. And I was like, I'm broke. Why are you doing this to me? And those were the highlights. Any other highlights?
No, I guess that was about, as much as I can remember.
Anything that happened that was kind of devastating? Not devastating. Anything that happened that was kind of you didn't like? Or any challenges you faced? We only have that one with the teaching.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we should.
No. So what is your goal then, Amina, for next year?
The goal for next year. One goal I have. We'll share a goal. I do want to travel, to be honest. I know right now it's very difficult now with the pandemic, now with the vaccination. You have to get a vaccine card with everything happening now. But I love traveling. I think if there's any purpose in life, it's to travel. I'm sorry. Like, the type of person I am, I love exploring things. I'm a visual person. Like, for me to go to another country and see all the different colors, all the different foods, the different dances, the different kind of culture, for me, it gives me life. Like, I feel great, and I really want to travel. I make it a goal of mine to travel every year somewhere that I haven't gone before, and I want to do it. I know money is tight, I know money is short, but traveling is it's priceless. That's what I'm trying to say. And one goal I do have is to travel, like to go somewhere to experience something else. And I really think that this year I really want to go to. Every time I talk, you make all this noise when I talk. It's like you don't want me to talk. Like, I'm saying it as a whisper because I don't want my husband to hear. But I really want to go to Hawaii. Like, I really want to go to Hawaii. One, because
beautiful.
It's beautiful. The pictures and the videos I see of Hawaii makes me feel like Hawaii was meant for me, and I really want to go and explore Hawaii. It's close, it's not that far, but that's one country on my list. But I'm gonna let Fan go and tell you what she wants to do this year. But I really want to go to Hawaii. Like, put it up out there in the universe.
For 2022, now we're just saying things that like we really want.
Mm-hmm.
I really want a house where I could plant something in the backyard. Now, this is for 2022 because the more I say it, the more it's gonna happen. Now, I love the idea of, having a homestead and growing my own food and, having some chickens in the backyard. That's always been my dream. We used to volunteer at our local garden, and we had chickens one year, and it was like the cutest thing. The children in the neighborhood would chase them around. I would get to pick them up, and chickens are so friendly, and like they have the fluffiest butts. Like I could not get enough. They were the most adorablest things. So definitely for 2021, find a space where I can do that. We currently live in Amina lives in the Bronx. I live in Manhattan, and I think like anywhere nearby that's like an hour away is definitely doable. Even if we work in the city or want to do stuff in the city, there's so much land in New York State. Like, New York is it's way bigger than just the city itself. And so finding an opportunity to do that would be my ultimate like goal. I would love to do that.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, not to steal her goal, but like I've been on that. You don't understand. For 100% of my life, I want to do this. Like, I think Fang and I,
we're kindred spirits.
Even since we were little, we always wanted something like that. Like, we are. It's funny. I come from Bangladesh, and she comes from China.
She always says Japan. I don't know what's going on.
She comes from China, and I feel like my roots are calling me to be in soil. Like, I really want to be back in the soil, to feel soil, to grow. My roots are telling me to go back and die. I really want to do that as well. I think it's something that we ultimately it's a goal for life. Like, I want to do it, but yeah.
I think honestly, just like with the business, you think of something, you're like, I could do it next year or when the opportunity comes. And it's not about the opportunity coming to you. You have to go to it. You have to actively do research. You have to look at websites. Maybe if you want to buy a house, to really just be proactive and thinking about not next year, but how can I do it now? And so, hopefully, you'll see us next time, maybe in a different place, location. But we're working towards that.
Another goal for let's talk about a business goal.
Okay.
A business goal. A business goal that I have for 2022. I was gonna say 2021. A business goal that I have for 2021 is that I really want to be able to connect to more people. I feel like I really want a bigger following. One, because I think in any business, to have real followers, to have like an audience that shares the similar ideas and similar values as you, it's super it's gold. It's super important. And so for 2022, I really want to get an audience of people who are like not just like people who buy things from me, but people who I can connect with, people who are like part of my community, our community. And I just really want to create that for us, for Goji Neem. Right now, currently, on Instagram, we have about like 150 followers on Instagram, and those are 150 followers that we gained like through
organically
through like, you know, we gain through our content, gain through talking to them, gain through literally talking to them. We went to 14th Street and was talking to people. Like we want people who are real. Like we want real followers, and I really want to be able to create a real following. And not to judge anybody else who has Instagram, who's getting followers the way they get followers. I really want to be able to create a community of people who are following us because they're like, wow, this is something that I want to do. And so for 2022, for our business, I really want to be able to reach like a huge a following, a number of followers, and that's my goal. And I hope through these videos, through advertisement, through talking to you guys, and you guys getting to know us and seeing who we are, you guys are like, oh, these people are not that bad. Like, you know, these are okay people. Right. Like, we're not that bad. We're just here to talk to you guys and be your friend, be there for you. So that's my goal for 2022, to make more people come on board, be part of Goji Meme.
I think for 2022 for Goji Meme, let me see. I think just curating more products that people are really interested in. You know, these are things that we are kind of always improving on. You know, always just like coming up with new ideas. But I would love, exactly like what Amina said, getting a more solid customers and community built, but also like just knowing how to advertise, how to brand, and how to really curate a product that people really like. With our oral care, I think we're still working on that, just like advertising and knowing how to just get it out there. But hopefully, like, we'll find things that are easier to sell and easier to market. I think with our oral care line, it was hard because not many people know exactly what the products do. We have a video out also explaining what some of those products do and how to use them. But I think with certain things like, lotions and body whip butters are easier because people understand what they do and their benefits and how to use them. And so figuring out a mix between what products people recognize and readily use versus things that maybe they don't know so much about but can really benefit using, So that would be my goal, just figuring out that balance and getting more people to, follow us and just understand our mission and what we want to do for our little business. We are closing out and we just want to pan over to all the products that we completed.
But this is the label and it's very beautiful. Fang did an awesome job labeling and getting this stuff done. Goji Meme Traditional Remedies. Please, please, please. The link to our Instagram will be in the YouTube description. If you would like to purchase a body butter, please do so. It's very affordable. We're not charging a lot of money. Every time you're buying something, you're supporting a small business.
Somehow that last part got cut off. But just as Amina was saying, you're supporting a small business, and we thank you so much for watching. See you later. Bye.